Hi, beautiful people. Hope you guys are doing well. My kiddos were actually off this week, so my baby girl and I decided to actually take a trip out of town. So let me do a little bit of a story time before I get into this. Gypsy Rose posted a video showing this company called Posh Peanut that sent her some goodies, and it was a matching PJ set for her and baby Aurora. And honestly speaking, it pissed me off because to think, first of all, we aren't going to see baby Aurora in these PJs, since Gypsy did say that she was not going to show baby Aurora. And why is this murderer, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, continuously being gifted stuff, rewarded? There are so many more deserving people out there, people who were abused that have overcome but did not turn to murder. I said to my eldest daughter, what is this world coming to? Next, are we going to see Casey Anthony coming to social media? And what will people be gifting her or rewarding her with? My goodness. Sunday, I get a message from my daughter with a link to a TikTok. And lo and behold, it was a TikTok of Casey Anthony giving this whole spiel on how she's... Just go ahead and check this out.
I sweat to death. Okay. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter.
Legal advocates. When, where, and how? We know Casey Anthony is not an attorney. She did stand trial for the murder of her daughter, and she was acquitted. And after that, she went into hiding. And as we did find out through a docuseries, which was a total flop, that she did live and worked for the investigator who worked on a case. And he probably did teach her a thing or two. But how does that equate to her now wanting to help other people with legal stuff? Just go back to your whole Casey Anthony. Your daughter is now dead. How were you there for her? How were you advocating for her when she was missing for those 31 days? Sit down.
For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people.
Give a voice to people? Why was Casey Anthony's daughter's voice silenced? When Kaylee was found, her mouth was covered with duct tape. Just a reminder for people.
To give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to. So with that, please join me on Substack. If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened. And it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur. And when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So as a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and now look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008.
When Kaylee was missing a week, why didn't you speak out for her? Why weren't you a proponent for Kaylee, Casey Anthony? It took 31 days, and it took your mother, Casey Anthony, to be the proponent for Kaylee. And now, nearly 17 years later, you, Casey Anthony, feels the need to be a proponent and step up for strangers. As a woman myself, I do not need Casey Anthony to speak up for me on behalf of me as a woman. And the LGBT community, I'm sure that they are just fine without Casey Anthony's inputs. And if you are part of the LGBTQ community, would you want someone like Casey Anthony advocating for you? Let me know down in the comments.
With that, these aren't going to be perfect. They're not going to be edited. Most of the time, they're not going to be short. But I am proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact. So you will get very comfortable with my car. And I will explain in great detail why it's so important for people to protect their privacy. It's not just important to public figures, it's even more important to private individuals. And with the current climate in our country especially, it's that much more important, which is why I am utilizing the Substack platform. Yes, I am advertising this and publishing this on TikTok, possibly also through other meta platforms, but my intention is to separate from that and showcase even more why Substack is such an important resource for people to utilize moving forward. Anyway, I appreciate your time, and we'll see how this goes.
Casey Anthony dodged a bullet. She was acquitted because, in my opinion, the prosecution didn't have the evidence to prove that she was responsible for the death of her daughter beyond a reasonable doubt. There wasn't enough evidence to convict her. And also, not because she was acquitted, she didn't do the crime. In my opinion, it just proves that the prosecution didn't have their case. She seems to want to be the spokesperson for privacy. Casey Anthony cannot be an advocate. She should go right back to the hole she has been in for over 16 years. Casey Anthony cannot be the messenger for the message she wants to give. She wants to be this advocate for legal resources or whatever. Casey Anthony is not the person that you would want to receive that information from. Maybe except if you want to get away with murder or learn how to commit murder, just saying. Casey Anthony can advocate for herself till the cows come home. But in regard to her wanting to advocate for her daughter, where was she? And what was she doing when she was supposed to be advocating for her daughter? When her daughter was alive and missing. After 31 days of her daughter being missing, Casey Anthony's mother had to call and report her grandchild missing. This is just a money grab for Casey Anthony. She drew inspiration from Gypsy Rose. She saw how Gypsy Rose has been rewarded for the evil that she did and for the evil that she is. And as I record this, Casey Anthony has amassed over 62,000 followers on her TikTok. And I do believe that she has over 3,000 on her Substack. If you don't know what Substack is, this will let you know what it is. It is a paid subscription, and also, if you are not aware, on TikTok, once you reach 10,000 followers, you automatically become monetized. And on just those two posts, with a combined 7.4 million views, she made a pretty penny. The last time I recall Casey Anthony being spoken about was when she moved to Tennessee with a married man. Casey Anthony is no different than Gypsy Rose. They both don't like to work for what they want. They prefer to take the easy way out. Nobody needs to learn from Casey Anthony how important privacy is, or even learn to keep your privacy. Casey Anthony became known as the most hated mom in America during her trial. And for good reason. She, in my opinion, got away with murder. And now she claims to be an advocate and that she can advise other people. Advise people on what? How to get away with murder? She wants to give others a voice. She, in my opinion, permanently took away her own daughter's voice. And yes, I am aware she was found not guilty in a court of law. She did have a chance to reintroduce herself in a documentary in 2022. And that documentary failed miserably. And Casey Anthony remained the most hated mom in America. And now she wants to come to TikTok and be as arrogant as fuck and try be confident and stern. To go back to the hole you crawled out of, Casey Anthony, those people that do follow Casey Anthony, in my opinion, they're just inquisitive. And at this point, if you are one of those that followed her to be inquisitive, you're actually putting money in her pocket. Once again, this is just a money grab for Casey Anthony. Casey Anthony is not a good person. She is going to use this platform that she claims was thrust upon her to drag her entire family to filth, and all for money. She has no soul. She is no different than Gypsy Rose. They are both psychopaths, in my opinion. Casey wants to advocate for a child who is no longer here, a child she birthed and later took that child's life. And that is what I believe. And once again, yes, I know she was found not guilty in a court of law. So at the end of the day, how do you or how can you support or even reward a child killer? So you guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Please be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And don't forget to make good memories. Bye, guys.